Chapter 6. When a Man Loves a Woman. James and his crew stood outside the tavern called the Lucky Pelican. It was much larger than most on the island. It had 2 large teal wooden swinging doors and a bar big enough to serve over 50 men if need be. But it was not the drinking that interested Hook. It was one of the owners of the establishment. "I doubt she remembers you," Drake said. "Then I will remind her." "James, she only spends time with pirates, and I mean really well-known pirates." "I told you we spent several days and nights together a couple of years ago. And even last month, we had lunch."
"Lunch? We can have lunch," said Black Jack. "That does not mean we love you or want to do business with you," the big man joked.
"I will be a few hours. Head back to the ship or wander about. I don't care. I will see you all tonight." James turned and left his men, walking through the swinging double doors.
"Poor man, smitten with a memory,"
Father Bob mumbled as he and the men left the front of the tavern to see what mischief they could find on the island. Inside the tavern, music played, and women marched trays of ale and dark glass bottles throughout the crowded bar. It was only a Wednesday, but it was filled, as people bumped into one another. Instead of anger and dirty looks, people laughed, and the ladies who worked the floor smiled and made everyone feel special. James made his way to the bar and forced his way between several rough-looking pirates. They moved to be polite. He turned around and looked at the controlled chaos. She had to be here. She would see him. Molly was a statuesque woman, graceful, beautiful, and always had a blade strapped to her person. She walked down the wooden steps to the main floor of the tavern. She had sandy brown hair, full and thick, always neat, always perfect. Men would stop talking mid-sentence when she walked by their tables. She was not one to trifle with, and though men wanted to be near her, they knew they could not. She was untouchable to most who thought they could convince her their time was more valuable than her own. Not many women controlled their own destiny, but Molly did. It was her girls who served the drinks and spent more quality time with the men in port. She was a madam and an entrepreneur. She kept her mind on business, and business was always good. If you needed anything relationship-wise, Molly could arrange it for a price, and even was known to have an ear to listen to what most men called womanly problems. She stepped from the wooden staircase and saw James. Her face went from work to a smile quickly, and he smiled back. He walked up like a prince to a princess, feeling as if they were the only ones in the tavern as he looked into her eyes. "Molly, you look beautiful."
Why, thank you, James. Do you have the money that you owe me?
"Well, no, but I think I will very soon," James replied.
Hi, James. You really need to get yourself organised. Come upstairs to my office so we can chat a bit. Away from prying eyes,"
Molly insisted. James followed her back up the steps, away from the loud noise below. He walked with her past a short hallway to a door. They stepped inside. "I think I have some of the money. I just robbed the Queen's—" James began. Molly slammed the door closed behind them and pushed him against it. She leaned in quickly and began a long kiss, to James's surprise, but he did not fight it. When she did break away for the moment, she smiled and looked into his green eyes.
We can discuss business later. I've so little time. Don't have to deal with such scoundrels here every day.
She kissed him quickly once again. "Do you want to hear about my last raid?" James asked, her lips pressed against his.
No. If you continue to talk, then we shall go to my desk and look at me books. Oh, you can keep your mouth shut and enjoy our time together,"
she said sternly. "I just thought—"
"Do not think, James, it does not suit you. You're a good man, and right now I need a good man, not some loud braggart killer who's dangerous,"
she explained. He thought about this as her lips grazed his shaggy jaw. He was not dangerous. He was a pirate. What did she mean by that? Her hands were as focused as her lips as she caressed his shoulders and chest. I am dangerous, he said out loud, then realized his mistake. She stopped and regained her composure.
James, you have two choices. Choose wisely. If you continue to talk, I will head to my desk and I will look at your tab and the interest. Or you can enjoy the moment. Join me in my chambers behind my desk.
Hook leaned over and saw a small door behind the office. Inside were pillows, blankets, furs, and a firm bed. He looked down at Molly and said nothing. But a grin said what he was thinking. She grabbed his jaw with one firm hand.
Good boy,
She said, and took his hand as she led him past the desk.